Brace yourself. Things are about to get rough at the grocery store. As you push your cart down the aisles, you may not notice it right away, but the prices of your most essential foods are about to surge, and it won't stop there. What you're about to experience isn't a small bump in cost. It's the start of a widespread crisis that's quietly unfolding, while most are still unaware. Farmers around the globe are struggling under the weight of unpredictable weather. Devastating droughts, raging storms, and unseasonable heat are killing crops faster than they can be harvested. The very foods you rely on daily are becoming more scarce. But it doesn't end with the weather. Supply chains are crumbling, transportation costs are climbing, and suddenly, everyday items are at risk of doubling in price. In the next few months, your grocery list could become a costly gamble. The foods that filled your fridge and pantry without a second thought may now require serious budgeting. Some may vanish altogether. We've identified 12 critical foods set to become unaffordable, or even unobtainable, and the numbers are alarming. Number 12. Olive oil. The cost of olive oil is climbing at an alarming rate, with several compelling factors contributing to this steep upward trend. One major issue that has been wreaking havoc on olive oil production is the outbreak of diseases in olive groves. A significant example is Xylella fastidiosa, a bacterial plant pathogen that devastates olive trees, reducing their productivity and leading to significantly lower olive yields. This is not an isolated problem. It is affecting olive groves across multiple regions, with widespread consequences for the global olive oil market. Another critical factor is the increasingly unpredictable weather patterns. Key olive oil-producing countries like Spain and Italy are facing the brunt of these changes. The increased frequency and intensity of droughts and heat waves are making it increasingly difficult for olive farmers to maintain their usual levels of production. Olive groves are left parched, struggling to yield enough fruit to meet demand, exacerbating the already strained supply. As if the impact of diseases and climate change weren't enough, rising transportation costs are adding another layer to the problem. Soaring fuel prices have a direct impact on how much it costs to move olive oil from the farms to grocery stores. Every mile transported adds more to the final price tag you see on the shelves. These converging factors could lead to olive oil prices skyrocketing by an estimated 20% by the end of the year. Number 11. Tea. The comforting and aromatic world of tea is facing a seismic shift, with prices steeply rising. The reasons behind this surge are complex, but they're affecting tea lovers everywhere. One of the main issues is climate change. In key tea-producing countries such as India, China, and Kenya, climate change is leaving a noticeable mark. These regions are grappling with unprecedented climate fluctuations, with erratic rainfall patterns bringing either too much or too little water. Prolonged droughts are stressing tea plants to the brink, reducing both the quantity and quality of the tea harvested. The challenges don't stop there. Once the tea leaves are plucked, they require a meticulous process of drying, fermenting, and packing before they reach your cup. The energy costs involved in these processes are rising. Whether it's heating the drying rooms or running the machinery that prepares the tea for packaging, energy is an indispensable part of tea production, and recent spikes in energy prices are driving up production costs. Analysts predict that tea prices could escalate by a staggering 15% or more by the end of this year. So, the next time you enjoy a tranquil moment with your favorite blend, remember the complex and increasingly expensive journey behind each cup. Will tea continue to be a staple in your pantry, or will its rising costs push you toward other alternatives? Number 10. Chocolate. The price of chocolate is also set to soar, leaving chocoholics digging a little deeper into their pockets. But why are the costs of our beloved bars and truffles climbing? Let's explore the rich, complex factors driving this upward trend. First, we need to talk about cocoa. Cocoa is the essential ingredient in chocolate, and most of it comes from West Africa, where hotter temperatures and changing weather patterns due to climate change are wreaking havoc. These harsh conditions are leading to lower yields for cocoa farmers, so the price of cocoa beans is rising steeply. Climate change isn't just a buzzword here. It's a direct threat to the future of chocolate. But that's not the only issue. Sugar, another vital component of chocolate, has also been hit by rising costs. The reasons for this are multifaceted, involving everything from global supply chain disruptions to adverse agricultural conditions affecting sugar-producing regions. This double whammy of higher cocoa and sugar prices is creating a perfect storm that keeps pushing chocolate prices upward. Taking inflation into account, economists are predicting that the price of chocolate could increase by around 10% by the end of 2024. It's a bitter pill to swallow, especially for those of us who see chocolate as a tiny daily indulgence. So what can you do? Stock up when you see a good deal, savor every bite, and maybe even try your hand at homemade chocolate creations. Appreciating the journey from cocoa bean to chocolate bar will make every morsel taste just a little bit sweeter. Number 9. Tofu. Tofu, the versatile and nutrient-rich food made from soybeans, is a staple in many kitchens around the world. However, this beloved plant-based protein is not immune to the economic forces currently wreaking havoc on food prices. The primary culprit behind the rising cost of tofu is the escalating price of its key ingredient, soybeans. In recent months, unfavorable weather conditions have significantly impacted soybean crops. Unpredictable patterns of drought and excessive rainfall have resulted in reduced yields, making soybeans scarcer and consequently more expensive. This scarcity is directly translating to higher production costs for tofu manufacturers. As the price of soybeans rises, so does the cost of tofu. Additionally, the logistics of bringing tofu from the farm to your table are becoming more expensive. With fuel prices surging, transportation expenses are skyrocketing, and these increased costs are inevitably passed on to consumers. According to market analysts, the price of tofu is projected to rise by an astounding 12% by the end of the year. This increase is not just a minor adjustment, it signifies a substantial jump that could impact many households, particularly those that rely on tofu as a primary source of protein. As we navigate these challenging economic times, understanding the factors influencing the prices of everyday essentials can help us make more informed choices. From the rising costs of tea and chocolate to the escalating prices of tofu, it's clear that our grocery bills are set to increase. How will you adapt to these rising food costs? Are there any alternatives or strategies you're considering to manage your budget? Number 8. Quinoa. Quinoa, often hailed as a miracle grain and a staple for health enthusiasts, is about to get pricier. This ancient grain has gained popularity for its incredible nutritional value, being packed with protein, fiber, vitamins, and essential minerals, making it a quintessential superfood. However, brace yourselves because the price of quinoa is set to climb by approximately 10%. So, what's causing this increase? The primary culprit is climate change. Unfavorable weather conditions have hit key quinoa-growing regions hard. Farmers are dealing with a significant rise in the frequency and intensity of droughts, abrupt temperature changes, and an uptick in pest and disease outbreaks. These adverse conditions have severely impacted quinoa yields, making the harvest far less predictable and abundant. So why does all this matter to you? If you're a fan of quinoa for its versatility in salads, bowls, and even breakfast dishes, you might want to stock up before the price hike hits your grocery store. The increasing demand for this trendy superfood isn't slowing down, and neither are the factors driving up its price. So the next time you spot a quinoa sale, consider it a golden opportunity to save. Number 7. Almond milk. Are you a fan of almond milk? Well, we have some important news for you. The price of this beloved dairy alternative is set to soar, and several key factors are contributing to this increase. The first reason is directly linked to the almonds themselves. Almond-growing regions, like California, are facing significant challenges due to climate change. Severe droughts and rising temperatures are putting a serious dent in almond yields. With fewer almonds being harvested, there's a direct impact on the cost of almond milk, since almonds are the primary ingredient. But it's not just about the almonds. The entire process, from farm to table, is being affected. The cost of packaging is also climbing. The prices of raw materials like plastic and cardboard, essential for producing the cartons almond milk comes in, are increasing. Additionally, rising fuel prices are adding to the cost of shipping almond milk from the factories to our grocery stores. When you put all these factors together, decreased almond supply, higher packaging costs, and increased transportation expenses, it's no surprise that almond milk prices are expected to spike by about 14% by the end of 2024. If almond milk is a staple in your kitchen, it might be worth planning ahead to mitigate the impact of this price hike. Number 6. Cheese. Cheese, one of the most beloved and versatile foods worldwide, is unfortunately seeing a significant price increase. Many experts are predicting an alarming rise of up to 12% by the close of 2024. The reasons behind this dramatic uptick are multifaceted, so let's break down what's causing this cheesy inflation. First and foremost, the cost of dairy, the key ingredient in cheese production, has been soaring. One major factor driving this is the increasing price of feed for dairy cows. This year, devastating droughts and unpredictable heat waves have seriously impacted crop yields, leading to a shortage of vital feed. When farmers face higher expenses to feed their cattle, those additional costs trickle down to consumers in the form of higher cheese prices. But that's not all. Labor costs and packaging expenses are also on the upswing. The labor market has become more competitive, pushing wages higher, and the price of packaging materials, such as plastics and paperboard, has been climbing. All these elements combine to create a perfect storm, driving cheese prices through the roof. Economists and market analysts are closely monitoring these ongoing trends. They suggest that if conditions persist, we might not just see a 12% hike, but potentially even more in the upcoming years. So, as you budget for your favorite cheesy delights, prepare for your wallet to feel a bit lighter. Number 5. Yogurt. If you're a fan of yogurt, you might want to brace yourself because the price of this beloved dairy staple is set to climb significantly. Let's dive into why yogurt is joining the ranks of essential foods facing dramatic price hikes this year. The root cause can be traced back to the soaring cost of milk. Milk serves as the foundational ingredient in yogurt, and recent spikes in milk prices are now trickling down to this popular product. Every spoonful of that creamy goodness is becoming more expensive to produce. But that's not all. For those who prefer flavored yogurt varieties, be prepared for an even steeper rise in costs. The prices of fruits used for flavoring yogurt are also on the upswing. Unpredictable weather conditions, pest infestations, and the spread of crop diseases are all playing a role in pushing fruit costs higher. When the price of fruit increases, it directly affects the cost of your favorite fruity yogurt. Next, let's talk about packaging. It's not something we think about often, but the containers that hold our yogurt are contributing to the price increase as well. The rising costs of raw materials like plastics and paperboard are driving up packaging expenses. When you add it all together, higher milk prices, more expensive fruit, inflated packaging costs, and growing transportation expenses, you get a perfect storm poised to drive yogurt prices up by an estimated 11% by the end of 2024. So, if yogurt is a staple in your diet, it might be time to start considering how these price hikes could impact your grocery bill. Number 4. Milk. Ladies and gentlemen, brace yourselves as we unveil the 12 essential food items set to nearly double in price this year. First on the list, milk. Yes, you heard that right. The creamy goodness that many of us pour into our morning coffee or cereal is gearing up for a steep price hike. So, what's causing this surge in milk prices? Let's dive into the details. First off, climate change is having a more significant impact on our daily lives than many realize, and milk production is no exception. Intense heat waves and prolonged dry spells are wreaking havoc on crop growth, including the feed grains that dairy cows rely on. As feed prices escalate, farmers are finding it more expensive to maintain their herds. In addition, When dairy cows experience heat stress due to high temperatures, their milk production drops, adding another layer of cost for producers. How significant is this price increase going to be? Experts are forecasting a price rise of about 10% by the end of 2024. While a 10% increase might not sound alarmingly high, it has substantial implications when you consider the essential role milk plays in households worldwide. Milk isn't just a beverage, it's a key ingredient in countless recipes and an essential source of nutrients, especially for growing children. As prices rise, families may need to make tough choices regarding their milk consumption and grocery budgets. Number 3. Meat. Up next on our list of essential foods set to increase in price this year is meat. Yes, both red meats like beef and pork are experiencing eye-popping price hikes. So what's causing this meaty dilemma? It all starts with the unpredictable weather Mother Nature has thrown our way. We've seen everything from long dry spells to torrential rains, making it increasingly difficult to grow the feed crops that livestock munch on, such as corn and soybeans. Less feed means higher costs for farmers to raise cattle, pigs, and other livestock. As corn and soybean prices soar, so does the cost to raise your favorite steak or bacon. However, the crazy weather isn't the only culprit. Another significant factor is the labor shortages plaguing slaughterhouses and meat processing plants. With fewer workers, the pace of meat production slows, increasing costs further. Imagine going through your day without enough coffee. It feels like everything drags on, right? The same concept applies here. Slower production leads to higher prices. Economists are predicting a jaw-dropping 15% rise in meat prices by the end of 2024. So, if you're a meat lover, now might be a good time to reconsider plant-based alternatives or start looking for sales and bulk buy opportunities. That juicy burger or tender pork chop may soon feel more like a luxury item than a staple of your diet. Number 2. Coffee. If you're a coffee lover, brace yourself, because coffee prices are skyrocketing. And it's not just a small bump. Experts estimate an 18% rise. So, why is this happening? The coffee industry, like many others, is feeling the ripple effects of a perfect storm of factors. Let's start with Mother Nature. Major coffee-producing countries like Brazil and Colombia have been hit by severe weather fluctuations. Imagine the vibrant coffee plantations of Brazil facing devastating droughts one season and relentless floods the next. These extreme weather conditions have severely harmed coffee crops, diminishing overall yields and impacting the supply chain. But the weather isn't the only factor. The labor force that tends to these precious coffee plants has dwindled for various reasons, including migration, the ongoing health crisis, and political instability in coffee-producing regions. When there aren't enough hands to work the fields or maintain the processing facilities, production slows down considerably. This shortage further compounds the supply problem, making it even harder for those delicious coffee beans to make their journey from farm to cup. So, next time you savor that aromatic cup of coffee, remember that a lot goes on behind the scenes to make it available to you. Unless these factors are addressed, you might need to start budgeting more for your caffeine fix. Number 1. Wine. The beautiful wine in your glass could soon become a lot more expensive, and it's all due to the unpredictable dance of climate change. Vineyards around the world are facing extreme weather events like never-ending heat waves, unexpected frosts, and destructive hailstorms. These climatic changes are more than just minor inconveniences. They are slashing grape yields and sending the wine industry into a tailspin. Fewer grapes mean less wine, and this scarcity inevitably leads to higher prices for that bottle you enjoy with dinner. But that's not the end of the story. The cost of creating the iconic glass bottles in which wine is stored is also skyrocketing. The price of sand, a primary raw material in glass production, is on the rise, as are the energy costs needed to manufacture these bottles. This ripple effect, from growing the grapes to bottling the wine, dramatically increases the overall cost. Economists predict that by the end of 2024, we could see an increase of around 10–12% in wine prices. So, the next time you raise a toast, remember that the luxurious experience of sipping fine wine could soon come with a heftier price tag. Whether it's for a special occasion or just to unwind, enjoying wine might become a bit more of a splurge this year. Make sure to stock up before these changes fully take hold. That is all for today, guys. Please make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more content.